go. It is 1:43. We usually take off at 1:30, so we're a little bit late. There's our office.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
We're here. All right, it's time for stretch.
Some of the Mets players provide us with a rare look at what a typical game day routine consists of.
Hey, SNY, if you want some stuff, he's going to be talking to himself today.
First of all, your face looked different. Your face looked like fatter.
I want sounds of silence once this thing starts.
From the newest rookies
It's something you dream about, just growing up, always telling yourself, you know, one day I want to be a big leaguer. And then the day it finally happens, it's just a feeling that I just wish everyone could feel.
That's just the ultimate goal and, you know, dream growing up, so it's hard to really describe, and I'm just excited to be here.
to the platoon player proving he belongs.
I like where our organization's headed. I think we have a lot of good pieces, and I want to be a part of it.
Try out to first!
This is Mets Insider, presented by WB Mason. Welcome to Mets Insider, presented by WB Mason. I'm Caitlin Monty. Over the course of a 162-game season, the Mets players and staff work non-stop to make sure they're completely prepared come first pitch. And while the majority of events that take place during game day are routine, there are many factors that come into play when handling a particular game day. Something we learned firsthand when we took our crew out to Citi Field to share what really goes on during a typical Mets night game at home. If you've ever been out early to a baseball stadium, there's a good chance you've seen the grounds crew hard at work. And the New York Mets crew is no exception, led by head groundskeeper Bill Deacon.
We have two crews. So the first crew comes in at 8, and then the next crew comes in between 10 and 12, depending on what was going on the previous night, if we had the tarp on. I usually come in on the 10 to 12 crew. Depending on how the previous night has gone, I'm usually doing something with the infield dirt, either helping finish it off or starting it if we had the tarp on, or if it's completely done and they've had a good morning, then I'll be watering it. But it all revolves around the infield dirt. The infield's where most of the players play, most of the play happens. So that's, you know, our biggest challenge and our most important thing is keeping it consistent.
With the field in mint condition, it's time for the grounds crew to get the field ready for early batting practice by the opposing team, which on this day happens to be the Phillies.
The visiting team can hit as early as 2:30, so sometimes we'll start at 2 o'clock. We just base it on the schedule. It could start as early as 2:30, it could start as late as 4:15, 4:30. We do a lot of protection. We set some mats up, and that's mainly so that the balls that hit the front aren't pulling divots out of the grass. And then we set some mats up on the side just for people to stand on so they're not standing directly on the grass. And then everything else is designed to protect the fans, the batting cage, the screens, everything else is designed that way.
While some of the Phillies work on their hitting, the face of the Mets franchise spends the afternoon working on getting back into game action after missing the last month with a hamstring injury.
It was nice that I got a chance to work with our medical staff here during the homestand, you know, because they saw me kind of before the injury. They saw me during the injury. They obviously have been here to rehab me through the injury. You know, and with them going on the road, you know, it's a little tougher to get in the daily stuff that I've been doing. So, you know, they're going to send me to Florida. Obviously, I want to finish the season. I want to finish the season strong. You know, the last thing I want to do is, you know, rush this thing back too early, hurt it again, going to next season with the uncertainty of finishing a season, you know, and it become chronic.
And one thing David realizes, you know, he's not going to take a chance to have this become chronic, to where every year we got to police it. So he's going to do it the right way, and when that time comes, he'll be back here. Again, is it going to be 7 days, 10 days, 14 days? I have no idea. He's the only one that can determine that.
Meanwhile, back in Manhattan, some of Wright's teammates are making their way out to Citi Field for the evening's showdown with the Phillies.
Here we go. It is 1:43. We usually take off at 1:30, so we're a little bit late. Sometimes it could be 40 minutes or it could be like 15. It depends on traffic.
He's what I like to describe as a aggressive driver, but We have never once gotten in an accident in 2 years of driving together, but I always put my seatbelt on.
You gotta wear your seatbelt here, and mandatory.
This little handle up here comes in handy. I get a good grip on here and then enjoy the roller coaster ride. Sometimes Satin texts us and he's like, hey, you want me to pick you up anything from Starbucks? I went to Starbucks today.
And didn't text us.
I went at 11.
That's just wrong right there.
But here's the question. If you would have known we were getting video camera today, would you have picked up Starbucks for us?
Of course.
Absolutely.
You have to be there by 3:15. As soon as you walk in, you put on your Mets gear. You're free to do for a little bit until stretch. Usually it consists of eating, stretching, getting some treatment done, or hitting a little bit in the cage before stretch. I'm working on trying to get backspin, basically hitting the ball center of the field, like left center, right center, up the middle. Because if I hit a baseball to right field with a little hook, it's no chance of getting past the outfielder. So I need backspin to hit doubles and homers.
The whole batting practice side of it comes for me more during the game when I'm getting ready to pinch hit. I have a pretty elaborate routine that I go through in the cage, which gets me ready to pinch hit. So we got a little bit different way of preparing for a game than Ike does. We look more at film on relief pitchers than the starting pitcher.
Satin's doing it right now, let's be honest. He's doing it.
I've enjoyed playing for Terry. He's a fiery guy. He's got a lot of passion for the game, shows his emotions, and we've had a pretty good relationship as far as him being open and going up and talking to him about stuff. So
He gets us excited to play the game. He's fiery, and he never lets you really get too down because he'll definitely get on you and tell you to pick it up and stuff like that.
Hopefully they bring him back.
There's our office.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
We're here.
This is our Mets players parking lot, and I think Thomas is going to let us in.
Thomas.
Say hi to Thomas every day.
Thomas, you're on SNY. You got to come say hi. That's Thomas.
Thanks, Thomas. See you, buddy.
He gives us words of encouragement every day.
Not too shabby right there. And then this is where we park most of the time.
It's open parking. The only one that has their own spot pretty much is David. He's down there on the end, and it doesn't even have his name on it.
I bet soon it does.
Yeah.
But we're here, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming with us.
Thanks for
It's a
riding
pleasure.
with us. Let's go Mets.
Coming up.
I was so excited that he took me under his wing, and I'm truly thankful for everything he did for me. Every little question that I've ever had, he's always been there for me. I'm going to still call him and ask him questions and everything. He's that type of guy who's willing to help anybody.
All right, it's time for stretch. We all spend a lot of time together, on and off the field. Ike, Justin, Daniel, and I.
You didn't tell me that you were wired, and we
weren't
started
talking.
a conversation.
Are you back talking to him right now?
Yeah, you guys are being mean to me.
Shut your mouth, Satin!
When the cameras are on, they like to try to make me look like a fool.
During Mets night games at home, media access to the players begins at 3:10 in the clubhouse, giving reporters the opportunity for some interviews for stories they may be working on.
I come in with a plan usually of guys that I like to talk to. There's certain things I want, questions I want answered. And if they lead to stories, great. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes just starting up a conversation that can lead to a story. And sometimes it's just a matter of kind of seeing how a guy's doing on a certain day. There's a lot of little minutia that you try to acquire just by having some basic conversations. And sometimes it's just little tidbits you could use during the broadcast. Sometimes it's not. But sometimes it hopefully develops into a lot of what I use on the broadcast.
Yeah, well, going into that hour when, it's your one chance of the day to get any and every player you want to talk to. So try to go in with a plan, know who you want to talk to, why you want to talk to them. Some days it's very straightforward. There's news of the day, there's an injury, there's someone you need to talk to. Other days you're looking for interesting angles, things that people might want to know about that you can put an interesting spin on. So go and interview players with that in mind.
On this particular day, the lead story is a trade. Earlier in the day, the Mets sent catcher John Buck and outfielder Marlon Byrd to the Pirates for 19-year-old infielder Dilson Herrera and right-handed pitcher Vic Black.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank both John and Marlon for their contributions to the Mets this year. John did an exceptional job behind the plate, and of course Marlon's had a terrific year. should be comeback player of the year, and we expect he'll make a big contribution to the Pirates. And we thank him for everything he's done here, and he's been a great teammate as well as terrific in the clubhouse.
It hurts, obviously, just because they were a big part of this team all year, and Marlon was having one hell of a year. Buck was having a great year. Two veterans that a lot of us looked up to, and they helped a lot of us out. So they're definitely going to be missed.
And I'll tell you, I back my front office completely because they don't do things on a whim. There's a plan. And if it's in there, they feel with it, this is the best move for this organization moving forward, that this kid who we got is going to help us down the road, then it's the move we had to make for right now.
While the reporters and announcers who follow the team begin to absorb the news of the trade, the newest member of the Mets, Matt Den Decker, tries to soak in his first day as a major leaguer.
A couple nights ago, we were in Colorado Springs, and Wally called me, Carson, and Recker to the office and told us we were coming up. He said there was something going on with the trade. I guess that was what he was talking about, and I was just excited to have that news, and called my family and told them what was going on. Everybody's excited, and I'm happy to be here and happy for the opportunity. You kind of just think back of all the all the time and work you put through, and family, friends along the way, support and that you've gotten along the way, and just that's just his ultimate goal and dream growing up. So it's hard to really describe, and I'm just excited to be here.
With interviews out of the way, the Mets players go about their normal routine, a 4-10 team stretch out on the field. On this day, Josh Satin was kind enough to let us mic him up.
All right, it's time for stretch.
Can't do that. Satin has asked to stretch by himself today. Stay over there, dog. I'm not.
Can I put my gloves?
If you don't announce that you're wired, you guys stretch by yourself. Hey, SNY, if you want some stuff, he's going to be talking to himself today. So choke on that.
I do that a lot anyways. Hey, I was looking at your bats off Cliff Lee. This was from 3 or 4 years ago. 2 years ago? You didn't even look. First of all, your face looked different.
I had no facial hair.
Your face looked like fatter. I don't know why. It just, you looked like not the same guy.
The first time you ever been mic'd?
Yeah. Well, you guys are being mean to me.
Shut your mouth, Satin!
I'm mic'd up right now. Huh? I'm mic'd up right now.
You couldn't have told me that beforehand.
Why? You had a great, honest conversation. I announced. You were listening.
How much of a conversation did you have before you knew he was wired?
We got like 2 minutes in.
Okay, I was there for 2 minutes. Do you know?
Hey, they're yelling at me.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how it happens in around here. Everyone says that I say something or somebody says something and it blows up.
You're just figuring that out?
This is your lane.
Swaggy will stay with me.
No, this is your lane.
They made me do it.
I don't care if they made you do it. That doesn't bother me. You didn't tell me that you were wired, and we started a conversation.
Are you back talking to him right now?
Yeah. We all spend a lot of time together, on and off the field. Ike, Justin, Daniel, and I. So when the cameras are on, they like to try to make me look like a fool.
I'll tell you what, the camera guy over there is having a good old laugh at us.
I'm aware.
He's got his headphones in.
We can't talk.
For half of it. I want sounds of silence once this thing starts until 20.
He's making the rule.
Until 4:20. I don't make many.
All right, your 5 minutes is up.
Thank God. Can you be my friends again?
Let's go!
Hey, he's my partner. Daniel Murphy's a bully.
Coming up.
I like where our organization's headed. I think we have a lot of good pieces, and I want to be a part of it.
Holy tryouts at first.
Tryouts.
Tryouts at first, man!
Tryouts at first!
My ideal situation would be us playing together. To me and to him, it's not a competition, because if we both play well, we're not going anywhere.
It's something you dream about, just growing up, always telling yourself, one day I want to be a big leaguer. And then the day it finally happens, it's indescribable.
With the team stretch finished, the team splits up into groups of 4 for batting practice. And for rookie catcher Travis d'Arnaud, it's just another opportunity to appreciate his first taste of life as a major leaguer.
It's something you dream about, just growing up, always telling yourself, one day I want to be a big leaguer. And then the day it finally happens, you know, it's indescribable, you know. It's just a feeling that I just wish everyone could feel. It's baseball, you know. I mean, the environment's a little different, you know, the field's a little different, but bases are 90 feet, pitcher's mound's 60 feet, 6 inches. Baseball's a baseball, bat's a bat.
While d'Arnaud does his best to keep things simple, life in baseball rarely ever is, especially for a rookie catcher, who just a few hours before this interview found out that his baseball mentor, John Buck, was traded to the Pirates.
You know, I found out today, and I wish him the best of luck. I was so excited that he took me under his wing, and I'm truly thankful for everything he did for me. Every little question that I've ever had, he's always been there for me, and now that he's gone, he still was my teammate. You know, I'm gonna still call him and ask him questions and everything. He's that type of guy who's willing to help anybody. He's helped me out tremendously with everything, figuring out how to get ready for games, you know, how to prepare for the games, and I mean, just everything, you know. I've had hundreds and hundreds of questions for him, and he's always been there for me. He's been a great teammate.
d'Arnaud hits one in the air to deep left center field. Right back in the wall, it's out of here! Travis d'Arnaud with his first Major League home run!
Just take it day by day. Do whatever I can to help the team win that day. Learn the pitching staff the best that I can. And most of all, be a good teammate to everybody in the clubhouse.
One player who's been a great teammate is 28-year-old Josh Satin, who was called up in early June and produced in a major way.
2-2 to Satin. Long drive deep in the gap near the wall. It's off the fence. Murphy scores easily. Satin with his third hit of the night, an RBI double.
This past offseason, when I had a plan for the year, there's no way part of that realistic plan was getting 2 straight weeks of playing time. That was a far-fetched dream. To be given that opportunity was career-changing for me, and I was able to produce a little bit and show people what I can do.
Unfortunately for Satin, his call to the majors meant that his good friend and former roommate in rookie ball, Ike Davis, was being sent down to AAA Las Vegas. Then recently, news broke that Davis would miss the remainder of the season with an oblique injury.
It's tough because, you know, my ideal situation would be us playing together. To me and to him, it's not a competition, because if we both play well, we're not going anywhere. I don't need him to do bad for me to be on the team. You know, I just need myself to play well. So why would I not want him to do well?
Holy tryouts at first. Hey, bud.
Tryouts.
Tryouts at first, man. Tryouts at first.
I enjoy being around the guy, and I think he's a great player. And so it's one of those things where if we both do our jobs, there's no competition. We're just both helping out the team, and that's the ideal situation.
Satin drives one to deep left field. Harper going back, and it's over his head and up against the wall. Satin racing for second. Harper's throw coming in, and Satin just beats it.
I like where our organization's headed. I think we have a lot of good pieces, and I want to be a part of it.
Great at bat, Satin. Thank you. Great at
Once batting practice is finished, the Mets players head back into the clubhouse to shower, eat, and then prepare for that night's game. Meanwhile, on the field, the grounds crew puts the finishing touches on the playing surface to make sure it's ready for first pitch.
After batting practice, we just kind of touch everything up. All the work's been done during the day. We just put the finishing touches. We put the lines down, the batter's box, put a little bit of water on the dirt, drag it out, and just try and fix everything that happened during BP, because there's usually, you know, both teams are out here taking ground balls. So we just try and touch everything up, and it's just sort of the finishing touches.
Once the clock hits 6:30, the Mets position players begin to make their way out to the field for some stretching. A little later, the relievers and that night's starting pitcher and catcher make their way out to the bullpen. Then, it's game time.
And he starts him off with a strike called, and we're underway at Citi Field. And Utley goes down swinging on a good sinker by Nice. And he grounds one to Murphy. The step and the low throw, but handled by Davis. And Murphy lines it into right field for a base hit. Nice is going to be held at third. Runs through the stop sign. The play at the plate. He's safe. And down to second goes Murphy. Now, Tim Tuffle hung up the stop sign, and John Nice ignored him and scores the first run of the game.
See if Keith Daniak make a great play.
bases clearing double for John Neese, and it's 5-0 New York.
Oh, that's right. Good hitting catcher's number.
And there's the strikeout for Neese.
We had huge expectations in the beginning of the season for John Neese, and he went through a little bit of an injury issue, but he's back and he's healthy, and it really picks us up.
For Neese, 17 in a row he's retired. 7th inning stretch time, 5-0 New York. And now Utley pops one up, and that should do it. Lagares comes on, and the ball game is over. John Neese throws a 3-hit shutout.
Travis and I, we had a game plan tonight, and we stuck to it. If I shook him, he knew exactly what I wanted. It was like he was in my head, so that was a good thing, and the defense obviously made some excellent plays behind me.
Second shutout of Neese's career, and he does it all with the bat, with the legs, and with his arm.
It continues to tell you that all these guys do is they want to pick each other up. We talked today, with a bunch of guys and say, listen, you got to pick each other up here. That's what it's about. And John Neese gave us what we needed tonight, and that's a great performance.
That's going to do it for us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to tune in to our final Mets Insider of the Year when we take a look back at the 2013 Mets season. I'm Caitlin Monty, and we'll see you next time.